Well, now to the new fallout and the heated debate over data centers in the Commonwealth. Loudoun County families are paying an emotional, even a financial toll as they fight new power lines fueling the explosion of data centers. In Ashburn, homeowners tell us that they are prepared to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep transmission lines out of their backyards. Chief investigative reporter Eric Flack is digging into what Dominion Energy will have to pay those families if their plans move forward.
Min and Marites Pack bought their house in Loudoun Valley Estates more than a decade ago, and they chose it for the schools and the privacy and that backyard where they've raised two daughters. Then in June, the State Corporation Commission approved Dominion Energy's Route 3A for the Golden to Mars transmission line and runs nearly 200-foot power poles through this section of the Ashburn neighborhood, all to power data centers. The Packs say the lines would come within 143 feet of their house. Crews would clear out nearly every tree they've grown to love.
You know, we as homeowners, where do we have rights? The county, the school board, Dominion has to get their approval in order to build on their property. However, we don't have any rights. How is that fair?
To give you an idea of impact, look at this map. That red line is the transmission line just feet from all of these houses. That row of houses right here behind me, meaning the transmission line would tower over the entire block.
A couple doors down, Vicky Hu would be staring at the tower right out her back window. The pole would go up in the middle of her backyard, taking her trees with it too. The same trees she paid extra for when she bought this home 20 years ago.
This is not the life I have imagined, when I came here. It's become a full-time job, just fighting Dominion.
To this point, Hu has paid a $5,000 retainer just to get an attorney in the door on a Virginia Supreme Court appeal challenging the state's decision to route that line through her backyard. She says she's been told the full fight could cost hundreds of thousands more.
Do you have that money to spend, and are you prepared to spend it?
So this is a choice. Do I lose the entire house value, or I spend a couple $100,000 to fight for it?
Attorneys we spoke with say if the Supreme Court appeal fails, Dominion would have to pay the families for the land it takes, but how much is still unclear. Here's why. Under Virginia law, only property actually crossed by the transmission line and its right-of-way is entitled to compensation. A neighbor just outside that line, even one whose property value takes a big hit, gets nothing.
I'm the realtor for 25 years. 25 years by selling homes, I never heard anybody say, hey, find me the tallest power line in the backyard. This is the house I want to buy.
The Packs say a neighbor across the street recently sold and moved out, taking slightly below asking price rather than stay and fight. The Packs haven't spent any money of their own yet, although their share of HOA dues is helping to pay the attorney fighting for the neighborhood. They say anything short of the full value of their home won't be enough to drop their fight. The rest of it, they say, is harder to put a number on.
We've lost weight. We've been depressed. It is a constant thing that's in our head.
We've asked Dominion Energy about compensating homeowners if these power lines end up in their backyards, and we're still waiting to hear back tonight. Dominion has said throughout this case the Golden to Mars transmission line is essential to keeping power reliable in Loudoun County, Larry.
All right, so Flack, if Dominion wins at the state Supreme Court level, how soon could crews begin work?
Yeah, good question. Not right away. Attorneys we spoke with say Dominion does not have what's called quick take authority here. So even with a win, it can't just start building. It would have to take each homeowner through eminent domain process in Loudoun County Court. And a contested case can take years to reach trial. But Larry, that's assuming it gets that far. Homeowners could always settle first if they think there is a fair offer out there.
Yeah.
If we get there.
If we get there, but this is a fight that's popping up all across the region.
This is not going to be the only place we have this conversation.
No, and we are far from being done with this.
Nope.
Eric Flack, good to see you. Thank you, sir.
All right.